introduce it.
I want to introduce it too, man, because I got my show is coming up. You have your show. You're established. All right, what you got?
All right, okay.
You keep a Sacagawea coin on you?
You know I do. All right, you call it.
All right, tails.
Heads.
All right. Go ahead, my friend.
Today, we're at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum in downtown Baltimore. We got a really great show for you. If you like comic books, then this is someplace you want to be, because Jeppy's Entertainment Museum has got it all. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. We're still here in Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. Man, I tell you what, I'm excited.
I have a geekgasm going on. It's gonna just
Look at this stuff. Look at this stuff back here. Look at this stuff all over.
Oh yeah, and did you see with the Avengers release that they highlighted
special
some of the
case on
Avengers
that
books
stuff.
coming out, and then the Batman Dark Knight Rises film coming. This place is just
how
amazing.
about that?
I saw the Son of Demon, the first appearance of Bane. They have all the first
There's a bunch of
appearances.
first issues over there. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that whole case is. But did you see the Prestige case at the front?
Oh, I know.
They've got to be at least $3 million worth of comic books in that
And
case.
the Big Little books. I remember my dad, he actually was a long distance driver at one point, and he transported the furniture of one of the creators. I think it was Buck Rogers.
Oh.
And he actually gave my dad one of the Big Little
Really?
books. And I still have it to this day. And it's one of my treasured pieces of my comics collection. But they have all of them here. They
Yeah,
have
my mom
so
talked
many
about
key books here.
those.
It's just amazing.
Well, I mean, not only that, but the pulps.
Yes.
I mean, all the various first editions. And this is just in this room.
Oh, I know. And we're
Yeah.
sitting in front of original art for the price guides, the Overstreet price guides. I'm looking at a Perez Teen Titans piece right in front of me, a Thor piece, Justice Society of America piece, by my friend John K. Snyder, great guy. He has this whole piece here in this Justice Society piece. It's just amazing, just the history.
The mind reels. And this is the perfect time
Oh, yeah.
to be here.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, this is what would you call it? A golden age of geekdom.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more fans out there. Being a geek is being an okay and a cool thing now.
Well, exactly.
My
It's
wife,
become mainstream.
the Big Bang Theory, with all those geeks, she's now, by virtue of watching that show, a geek, and well, by virtue of her husband who's a super geek.
Well, now-
It's becoming acceptable.
Was she a geek when you married her? Because mine wasn't really. I mean, she liked fantasy and science fiction and literature, this kind of thing. But, it was really when I brought her along with Babylon 5 that she kind of got there. She still won't dress up in the costumes.
You turned your wife into a geek?
Well, more precisely, she was kind of geeky when I met her. But, yeah, I sort of refined it, I guess you'd say. I mean, we focused, on, like, comic book and sci-fi geekdom more than anything. Because she was truly a mundane, basically.
My wife was a real theater person. Being she was an actress as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes to say she didn't know about any of the comic book stuff when we were dating, and then not until we were married that I sprung it on her. That she didn't know there was this full-fledged costume player geek buried inside. And she actually, when we went to see Punisher, she was like, "Amazing Spider-Man 129, right?" That's
Now,
my girl right there. That's the first appearance of Punisher.
Which Punisher, though, did you go see? Was this
This was the
Thomas Jane?
Yeah, the Thomas Jane one.
Oh,
She didn't
okay.
see the
That one
Warzone
wasn't
one.
bad. Okay.
Not bad.
Well,
I
the
did like it.
Warzone was pretty good with the guy who had been in that cable thing.
Yes.
Roll. There was the guy from that.
Yes.
That wasn't bad. I thought that was the best Punisher that they've had so far.
I'll agree with you on that
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
And
that's-
he looked the part.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that one that Dolph Lundgren had back
I
in the day?
do, and that to me wasn't Punisher, but it is what it is. Just like the G.I. Joe I was a big G.I. Joe comic book fan, the Marvel Comics, G.I. Joe stuff, and I'm now getting into the IDW stuff. Because they're bringing back Larry Hama, the guy that to me was the guy that created, and I met Larry Hama, great guy.
Herb Trimpe is really the G.I. Joe guy. I was talking to him at the DC Comics.
It was Herb and Larry.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I tell you what, though, my young friend, down that hall is the G.I. Joe I knew. He's 12 inches tall. You know, he's got like the kung fu grip and a lifelike hair and beard.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that was G.I. Joe that I knew. In fact, you know, I just saw that movie on USA because I didn't go to see it in the movies.
Oh, really?
I kept waiting for it to come on cable. It never came on
Well, to
cable.
me, it's not G.I. Joe. They have the characters, they move and shake like G.I. Joe, they dress like G.I. Joe, they call them G.I. Joe, but to me, I like it as an action film and the retaliation that's coming out. But come on, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Simone guy is Roadblock. That wasn't Roadblock to me. It was this guy from New Orleans. You know, that's Roadblock. This guy is a Simone guy. Here's the black guy. From
Artistic license. It's called artistic.
It looks
license.
great, looks beautiful. I'm going to check it out, but I can't call it G.I. Joe for me. Because as an actor and filmmaker and as a writer, I actually wanted to be the guy that brought G.I. Joe to the screen and do it right. So I'm a little bitter.
I know what you mean. Well, but I tell you what, though, the big movie right now is The Avengers. I mean, and who would have guessed at the incredible theatrical success of this movie? $200 million domestically in less than a week. You know, the thing has made over $1 billion worldwide at this point.
I don't marvel at it because I think it was bound to happen, and the people involved believe in the material. From Jon Favreau with the Iron Man franchise, who really believed in it, and then getting Joss Whedon involved, and just all the selections that they've done, the people that they've gotten involved. If they did it right and got the right people involved, which they did, it was going to be a success. So to me, people marveling at it. Pun intended, Marvel. To me, if you've done it right, you're going to get this kind of success. And if they continue to do it, which I have faith that they will, it's going to be a long-going success and hopefully be a renaissance for us as comic book fans to get great material, for the fans to get that new fans to come along. Now it's just time for DC to get their butts in gear and give us the Justice League movie.
I'll tell you something. DC should be ashamed of themselves that they let Marvel come out with this movie before they got a Justice League movie.
That is true.
I can remember sitting in the theater back in 1978 watching Chris Reeve in Superman the movie, and what do? They follow that up with a endless string of Superman sequels. I went to a convention in 1980 in New York. They were passing out these buttons. They said 1980, the year of the Batman. It took them 9 years to get Batman out. And then what do? They go into an endless string of sequels for the Batman movies. I was talking to somebody just the other day. I said, they just need to release a Justice League movie. They said, oh no, they need to adhere to the Marvel formula. They need individual movies. I said, no, you don't, because Superman and Batman, everybody knows Superman and Batman. There's institutional memory in the public about Wonder Woman from the Linda Carter TV series. They did The Flash back in 1991 as a TV series. John Wesley Shipp, that's right. And you just had a Green Lantern movie last year. What do you need? You know, you put these 5 in a freaking movie and you release the thing tomorrow.
Have you seen the Arrow trailer? They're even doing the Green Arrow on, I think, CW, but the Green Arrow trailer is coming out.
I heard that was dead. No, it's back.
The trailer's out on YouTube. I actually just posted it on my Facebook.
Oh, really?
But
I'm going to have to check your
good.
Facebook out.
It looks good. They started off with the Green Arrow Year One. I don't know if you took a look at that graphic novel.
I am definitely familiar.
A nice little piece, and it looked like they're starting it off with that, and then going into the character. But exactly, you're right. They don't need to bring all these other films. Although I want to see those other films. But
I want to see it.
Just do it.
Delays getting Justice League.
agree.
I mean, because I don't know about you. I mean, I'm a big Marvel guy. Have been for a number of years. I love the Avengers. I love Iron Man. Iron Man's my favorite superhero. But there is a primacy in my heart for Superman and Batman. I feel like the Justice League of America, I mean, the Avengers, they're a great super team, but the Justice League of America, that was the premier super team. These are the guys you want to see.
I can relate with the Avengers. I've always been a Marvel guy. I'm part of the Merry Marvel Marching Society. But it's like the gods. There's like the superheroes, the cops, the Avengers, you can relate with them because they're set in New York City and Chicago and all that. But then here's like the gods of Superman, Batman, in these amazing cities of Metropolis and Gotham cities. It's a different level,
Exactly. And the history. I mean, you got 50 years of history with Marvel Comics.
Yes.
There's like 70, 80 years with DC. I mean, I think that Superman, did you know that the Superman S is the most widely recognized symbol on Earth. More people know the Superman S than the Nike swoosh, than the McDonald's golden arches, than the Mickey Mouse ears. I mean, this is, you take the Superman S to China and you show it to them, and people are going to be like, oh, look up in the sky. You know?
I think that's also the most tatted tattoo. I remember I was, because I'm starting to get a little bit more into ink. I have a little bit of ink myself. That the S tattoo.
You got an S tattoo?
I don't have an S tattoo.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal has an
I
S
saw
tattoo.
that he has an S tattoo.
And he was steel. But we won't go into steel.
Yeah, let's not at all.
But oh yeah, just this museum. If you ever get a chance, check out the Geppies Entertainment Museum. We're
Make the
loving our
time.
time here.
Hey, but you know, we got to go to a break, and so you stay right where you are. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Geppie, and I'd like to welcome you to Geppie's Entertainment Museum. In 1974, I quit my job as a letter carrier at the U.S. Postal Service and opened a small comic book store in the basement of a TV repair shop. Little did I realize that from that humble beginning would grow this incredible pop culture collection you see here today. At the center of that collection is the comic character, the Brownies, Buster Brown, Mickey Mouse, the Lone Ranger, Superman, Barbie. These are just some of the characters who've made a tremendous impact on our individual childhoods while at the same time shaping our collective experience. As you wander through these halls, you will see the history of the country and our changing society reflected in those characters and the media through which they entertained us. Why are these characters so important to us? Perhaps it is their power to distract us. They've brought us relief in times of trouble, like the Great Depression and World War II. Today, they help us escape the pressure and stress of our ordinary, everyday lives. But there's more to it than that. These characters have played a large and largely unrecognized role in our education. Batman comic books helped me to learn to read when I was 5 years old. Thanks, big guy. That experience fostered a lifelong love of reading. I had dreamed of creating this museum for almost 30 years, but where to build it? When I toured Camden Station for the first time in 2003, I realized I had finally found the home these characters so richly deserved. Abraham Lincoln passed through this building 4 times. When Babe Ruth left his boyhood home of Baltimore to play for the Boston Red Sox, he took a train from this very station. Today, the first floor houses Sports Legends at Camden Yards, a museum which chronicles the history of Maryland sports. If there is a more appropriate place to display the history of pop culture in America, I can't think of it. I've been called Baltimore's biggest cheerleader. Guilty as charged. Heck, I even bought the City magazine. I was born and raised in Little Italy, an ethnic neighborhood just across the Inner Harbor from here. I love this city and all of its spectacular attractions. From the National Aquarium and the Science Center, to the Walters Art Gallery and Museum of African American History and Culture, to the restaurants of Fells Point and Little Italy, Baltimore has something for everyone. I urge you to visit all of those places and experience everything this magnificent city has to offer. But first, I'd like you to take a trip with me in my time machine to discover or revisit all the wonderful characters, friends I call them, that have shaped our popular culture. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I had that when I was a kid. I do it all the time.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. This is just amazing museum.
I know, I'd pay them. If it's Steve Geppie, if you're listening, I'll pay you. Let me work here, hire me.
We're ready. So, before we go, some of the new releases, you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
AVX. What do you think? Round 4 just came out. How are you feeling?
I'm very disappointed in
You
this.
are?
Yes, I am. I'm tired of these endless crossovers and Avengers versus X-Men. But the Avengers should wipe the place with the X-Men. And in fact, weren't you just saying a few minutes ago about how, who are some of these people? I can't keep the frickin' roster straight.
That
on the
is
X-Men.
true. I'm an Avengers
Yeah.
guy. I am pulling for them in this whole crossover. But I will say it's got me intrigued about Hope and why they're fighting. They're fighting over this character by the name of Hope Summers.
I know, which doesn't make a bit of sense, you know?
So I'm a little intrigued, but I can't recognize the X-Men. I don't even know all the people that are making up their team. So, so AVX, I'm feeling it because it's making me want to pick up some of the other titles, and it's just cool to see. So that's why I'm all about it. What other
I'll tell you
titles?
what, well, let's go with the DC, because they've got this whole new 52.
Yes.
Have you read any of that stuff?
I have all of the number ones. I actually went and
You
scooped them all
went
up.
52 number ones.
Yes, I actually
You're one hell of a fan.
went to the comic book store, ordered online to Midtown Comics. I just had to pick them up because it was such a buildup of an event.
They're never going to
They
be worth
rebooted the whole
anything.
thing.
They're never going to be worth anything. They've got like 50 million printings of all those things.
That is
you know?
true. That is
Yeah.
true. But I'm loving it. I read the Superman. I read Batman. The Titans.
Batman's a real
Justice League.
standout. You know, have you been reading this Night of the Owls thing that they've been doing with Batman?
I didn't pick up the new Night of the Owl. It just came out this recent week.
Pick those up. They've got a crazy crossover.
Yes.
Another one of these endless crossovers, but it's going between all the Bat books.
Mm-hmm.
And these owls, if you thought Gotham was Batman City, think again, you know?
Well, I gotta say, we all know Batman. Batman's popular, but I gotta say, what I'm astounded by, but from when I saw the creative team, I was like, okay, they're gonna really rock it. Ivan Rice, Jeff Johns, Aquaman, the coolest Aquaman I've ever seen in my
Can you
life.
imagine? Aquaman is actually
being done
cool.
so
He's
cool.
actually cool.
And that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Who would have thought Aquaman being so cool in the illustrations, the story? I only read issue 1, and I'm just geeking off of issue 1, but I've
That's
seen the
wonderful.
covers
Yeah.
to 2 through 8. I actually ordered through eBay 2 through 8, so I have them coming along with the variants. I'm a big
That's
old
one of
geek
the
on
best
that.
ones.
But it's just
Animal
looking
Man
amazing.
and Swamp Thing. If you haven't checked those out,
the artwork on those are phenomenal
yeah.
as well.
Well, the story too. I
Okay,
mean, apparently.
who's writing? I think I want to say I did recall. I can't remember right now.
You know?
I put it on the spot.
Well, only because I'm talking about how great they are, but I'm not reading either one of them. You know, it's like, yeah. But I'm told that it's tremendous. In fact, you know, we did a show on that. You know, New 52, and the guys were talking about how fantastic Animal Man in particular, and then Swamp Thing. But Aquaman was another one they mentioned. You know, big disappointment with that was Justice League.
Really? Actually, that's what I was just getting ready to bring up.
Oh, really?
Did you read the? So you have you?
Oh, yeah.
looked
Well,
at it?
you know, I didn't have a problem with that, but the thing is, you're going to bring in Darkseid as a villain, and then he basically stands around for a couple of issues. I am Darkseid. I will kill you. And, oh, it's Darkseid. Oh, we got to fight him. And nothing happened. I mean, that was 6 issues of the thing, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
And when I read it, finally, I read it all in one sitting. I read 1 through 8 or 1 through 9 in one sitting instead of separately.
Right.
And if I were to have read it separately, a month after month,
Then you
I would have been
read
pissed.
more. Yeah.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
I can see your point. It was kind of senseless, but it was cool seeing it all come together. And that to me is what their intention was. Here's the new 52. Here's these new characters. We're revamping them. We're redoing the origin. So here's how they're coming together. So if I was a new reader, I think I would have enjoyed it. You know,
And
and
very well
I'm enjoying
drawn.
it, seeing it reintroduced to me.
Yeah, very well drawn too.
And,
Jim Lee stuff. It's like.
Oh, phenomenal artist. Oh yeah. One of the things I'm really geeking about with that were contained within the Justice League, and we discussed it during this show, Captain Marvel, and how they're reintroducing Captain Marvel in the New 52.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
As
think-
the backup, they were doing that in the backups of I think 5 through now.
Well, but isn't that the new Captain Marvel? Because you remember, I mean, the Captain Marvel that we all knew and loved, he's tied to the Rock of Eternity. He took the role of Shazam the Wizard, and it's actually Captain Marvel Jr. who has sort of ascended to the role of Captain Marvel and gotten the Marvel powers.
True.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, departure from Billy Batson, but, you know.
True. It is Batson though. But yeah.
Well, he was his brother, though. You know,
Okay.
I mean, this is.
I guess I have to brush up right now because I'm not recollecting it all.
Excuse me, actually, Freddie Freeman was Captain Marvel Jr. Was Mary Marvel was his sister.
They do have Batson. Batson's in there. The Mary character's in there, and I love how it's multicultural with this new family, the Marvel family. It's 2 parents that are I don't know if they're Marvel, but they're adopting all these kids and they're making up. It's a great way to reintroduce the mythos and see how the old establishment stuff is and how they're kind of revitalizing it. I'm enjoying it. And Gene Ha is an amazing artist.
Absolutely.
Who's illustrating that back up. I'm geeking over it. And having stepped away from comic books for a little bit because I am a filmmaker as well, getting back into it, They got me. So, with you still reading it and me coming back and forth, I think
I've
they're
been
doing a
in
good
and out.
job.
I've been in and out. Justice League of America, this is the team that you want to see, you know? Well, unless, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And isn't there a new movie coming out with them too?
I think so, and they're redoing it and getting closer to the actual origins with them not having the multicolored colors. They're all going to be one solid color, because when they first came out, it was just all red.
Oh, really?
I want to say, yeah. And then when the cartoon came out, it was the cartoon that had them the yellow, the purple.
Oh, really? So in the comic book,
it was just
they had
one
all been
red. It was a red man.
How did they tell each other apart?
I don't know. I guess turtle sense.
Do you remember the radioactive black belt hamsters?
I do. I do remember that.
Little known.
Trying to capitalize on
exactly.
turtles.
And it made sense to
There was a
me.
lot of anthropomorphic, I think is the proper term for all that stuff.
Well, but even with the big boys, because you had Howard the Duck,
Yes.
Rocket Raccoon,
Oh, yeah.
who is a personal favorite of mine.
Yes.
In fact, just saw him on the animated Avengers. As they did the thing with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, just
the new Guardians of the
Korvac
Galaxy.
saga that aired
yes,
a week or two ago.
And of course, the new Guardians of the Galaxy,
And I'm
not the original Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
with Yondu and Martin X and Charlie 27.
And that's what I knew.
That's what I knew too.
Yeah, and then this whole new Guardians with Star-Lord, the new female Quasar, and this Rocket Raccoon. I wasn't too familiar with the Rocket Raccoon until
And Groot. Groot.
and he is an amazing character.
Yeah.
So I was impressed.
It's not bad. There was a mini-series. They branched out with something called the Annihilators. It's sort of like the Team Cosmic, and you've got Beta Ray Bill,
Yes.
the Gladiator guy from the Shi'ar
Drax,
Imperial
the
Guard.
Destroyer?
I think Drax is on there too.
Okay.
There was somebody else, but these are like the top tier cosmic guys. You
Okay.
get another team. I mean, you got plenty of ways you can go
Yeah.
as far as these different super teams.
Nova is also part of that.
Yes,
Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
Oh, and is I think Quasar, but this
Yeah.
is like the male Quasar or something.
Yes.
Who's on this thing, and the Silver Surfer.
Yep.
And it was funny because you mentioned the Hulk and Planet Hulk at one point.
I
when
loved
we were
it.
off camera.
I
and we were
had
talking,
been-
and Silver Surfer was in that.
Yes,
You
the
know?
Silver Savage and the Green Scar going head to head. I can't tell. I recently read it, and friends I know had recently read it. It's been out for years. They all also
Not that
have the
many
animated
years.
movie.
Not that many years. Oh, the animated movie, they messed it up because
Yeah.
they didn't have the Silver Surfer.
They went with Beta Ray Bill.
I was like, how can you not have the Silver Surfer in this?
I know.
I mean, this is, shoot. But I tell you what, that Planet Hulk thing.
Fantastic. I actually read World War Hulk prior to Planet
Oh,
Hulk.
really? Oh, well,
Yeah.
you kind of came in there on the end.
Yeah.
So when you read Planet Hulk, it was like, oh, so this is how he got
Yeah.
to the World War.
And all those other characters that were part of Hulk's group.
Yes, they have
Amazing characters. The Brood, the stone guy from
Oh, it wasn't
the first appearance of Thor that
Yeah,
they
the
brought into
Stone
that
Man of
to-
Saturn.
Oh my
Exactly,
gosh, it was just
yeah.
fantastic.
But ultimately, it was a ripoff. It was a ripoff to Warworld with Superman. Back when Superman, he was wearing his cape like a toga,
Gladiator,
and he had the
yeah.
beard and stuff,
I got you.
He was
I got you. But it's-
but
it's on the execution.
that's true. And the thing is, you gotta really sympathize with the Marvel characters because, hey, Hulk rampages, one time too many. What do you do if you're Tony Stark and Doctor Strange
brilliant-
and Mr. Fantastic?
brilliant
And,
idea.
we're gonna trick this guy onto a spaceship, we're gonna blast him off the Earth. It makes perfect sense to me.
And then at the end, he loses his girl. It was just, you feel.
But we gotta go.
We gotta go.
I know. It's
Till
like,
next
who's gonna
time.
close the show out?
Let's flip that coin. You got a second to
okay,
your
all
coin?
right, yep, all right, call
All
it.
right. Heads.
It's tails.
Ah.
I'm winning all of them. Thanks for
Next
being
time.
with us on two. No, I'm closing. Thanks for being with us on Two Guys and a Comic Book. Be sure to be here next time because we're going to have some great stuff for you then too.
Next time, guys.
Yeah, you got the last word.
I'm nuts about downtown Baltimore's West Side. Hello, I'm John Waters, and I'm proud to say that Baltimore has always been my home. It's the inspiration behind all my films, including Hairspray, Crybaby, Serial Mom, and A Dirty Shame. Let me tell you, there are not a more eccentric, monumental, eclectic, intriguing, and character-filled 28 blocks anywhere in the world, and I'm here to prove it to you. This is where Babe Ruth was born. They tell me he's the best baseball player ever. Not that I'd know. I'm more into theater. Like nearby Arena Players, the nation's longest continuously running African American community theater. I'm also a big fan of Century-Old Antique Row, where New York dealers come to buy and later mark up their purchases sky high for their Manhattan buyers. On that same block sits the U.B. Blake National Jazz Institute, housing memorabilia from Baltimore jazz greats like Billie Holiday and, of course, U.B. himself. The West Side is also where the Maryland Historical Society calls home, with its many Baltimore artifacts, including the original manuscript of the Star-Spangled Banner and Nipper, the RCA dog. Oh, and the National Dentistry Museum, the only one of its kind in the U.S., is where George Washington's dentures live. And no, they were never wooden. And right in the middle of it all, as if just to add mystery and intrigue, sits the gravesite of Edgar Allan Poe, my kind of guy. Sometimes I go there to meditate. Now, the thing that defines Baltimore for many people around the world is right here also, our sports franchises, the Orioles and the Ravens, two birds that nest in the West. The Walters Art Museum is also known internationally, featuring an interactive experience exploring 55 centuries of art. A man named Gustav Krug worked at an ironworks foundry on Saratoga Street on the west side way back in 1810, and it's still a working ironworks foundry today. 6th-generation Krugs still work here. In Baltimore, we find a good place, we like to stick with it. Now contrast that with one of the world's most advanced operating room facilities just a couple blocks away at the University of Maryland Medical System. Get ill, get fixed, have an operation in high style. Know of a place where the Beatles, Al Roker, Mother Teresa, and P.T. Barnum all hung out? I'll tell you, the west side of downtown Baltimore. Al Roker? He's done live shows at the world-famous Lexington Market, where you can shuck oysters and see some of the most amazing hairdos in town. The Beatles, Pavarotti, U2, you name them. They have played what used to be called the Civic Center, but is now called the First Mariner Arena. Aren't we grand? Mother Teresa, the Pope, and many presidents have all visited the Basilica of the Assumption, the first Roman Catholic cathedral in the United States. Photo ops, I assume. And as for P.T. Barnum, he, along with the likes of Cab Calloway, Chick Webb, Milton Berle, and a young, debuting Frank Sinatra, all performed at the world-famous Hippodrome Theater, one of the true cornerstones of the West Side. I saw Cleopatra there, and even shot parts of Cecil B. Infectious, fashionable, full of vim and Baltimore vigor, I walk the West Side streets these days in amazement at what it's become. I'm nuts about downtown Baltimore's West Side. You will be, too.